Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Arjun Chaudhary. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Friday, the 23rd of October. Lashkar Haqqani network won't be allowed to operate from Pakistan, says Sharif. Kabul University launches Afghanistan's first women studies program. And Hindu devotees in India bids adieu to goddess Durga. And now for all the details. Pakistan has assured the US that it will act against all militant groups in the country, including the Lashkar-e-Taiba and the Haqqani network. The assurance came when Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif met US President Barack Obama.
The visiting Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and US President Barack Obama discussed a host of issues including nuclear threat, Kashmir and Afghanistan during their 2-hour-long meeting late on Thursday. Pakistan held out a promise that it will not allow Taliban groups, the United Nations designated terror outfits like Haqqani Network and LET to operate from its soil. The two leaders also stressed on the importance of a sustained dialogue process between Pakistan and India to resolve all bilateral issues, including Kashmir. President Obama appreciated the role of Pakistan in the peace talks in Afghanistan, adding a stable and peaceful Pakistan-Afghanistan border was important for the success of counter-terrorism in the region. Earlier addressing a US Congress delegation, Prime Minister Sharif said Pakistan wanted good relations with all its neighbors.
To lift our people out of poverty, we must first of all establish peace in the region. Pakistan therefore seeks good relations with all its neighbors. I firmly believe that shared prosperity is real prosperity.
He also reiterated Pakistan's commitment to fight all forms of terrorism.
Made a strategic choice to take on terrorists of all hues and colors through a comprehensive strategy involving stringent law enforcement measures as well as targeted military operation.
Though Pakistan's growing nuclear arsenal topped the agenda of the talks, the two countries did not sign the civil nuclear agreement, which would have limited Pakistan's nuclear capabilities. According to reports, Pakistan is set to become the fifth largest nuclear power by 2025.
Pakistan has been fortified ahead of Ashura processions by the Shia community in the country. This comes after a Shia mosque in southwestern Balochistan came under suicide attack in which at least 10 people were killed late on Thursday.
Amid heightened security arrangements, the minority Shia community in Pakistan took out Ashura processions on Friday. The ritual is part of Muharram, the first month of Islamic calendar, when Muslims mourn the death of Imam Hussain, the grandson of Prophet Muhammad. The mourners flagged themselves with blades attached to chains to express their grief. Security personnel were deployed in large numbers throughout the procession routes in view of sectarian tensions. Mobile services have also been suspended in key cities including Islamabad, Lahore and Karachi for 2 days. The increased security was put in place following a suicide bomb blast outside a Shia mosque in Balochistan late on Thursday. The incident happened in Karachi, some 185 miles from provincial capital Quetta, when people were offering prayers. Even though no group has claimed responsibility for the blast, Shia mosques and Ashura processions have regularly come under attack by Sunni extremist groups during Muharram. In 2013, at least 8 people were killed in violence after an Ashura procession came under attack in Rawalpindi.
Moving on to news from Sri Lanka. The domestic mechanism in Sri Lanka, which will probe the alleged war crimes by its army, would be within the provisions of the constitution, President Maithripala Sirisena has said. The UN had earlier this month passed a resolution calling for international probe into rights abuses during the civil war with the Tamil separatists.
Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena met with the leaders of all major political parties to discuss the nature of the probe mechanism. He said the government is firm on taking any action which is appropriate to meet the Geneva proposals, but only within the framework of the Constitution. While reasserting that the probe mechanism will be a domestic one, the government said the role of foreign experts could range from supervision of the proposed domestic judicial mechanism to participation of foreign judges. The UNHRC in its resolution had called for the establishment of a credible judicial process with the participation of foreign judges, lawyers and investigators. Colombo has been for long accused by the UN and other rights groups of failing to initiate a credible investigation into allegations of rights violation by its army. The previous investigations by government-appointed committees were criticized for being biased and failing to address the key allegations. The Lankan army is accused of large-scale human rights violations, especially in 2009 during the end of the nearly 3 decades-long civil war with the Tamil Tigers. Various rights groups claim that up to 40,000 Tamil civilians were killed in the final 3 months when the army launched a massive operation to crush the rebels.
It has been over 6 decades since Pakistan first invaded Jammu and Kashmir, leading to India's intervention. The atrocities committed by the Pakistan's army in disguise of tribal militants are still fresh in the minds of the people.
People of Jammu and Kashmir observed Black Day on Thursday as the province marked the 68th anniversary of Pakistan's invasion of the region. It was on this day Pakistan army disguised as tribals attacked parts of Kashmir and took control of it. On Thursday, hundreds of people from different walks of life came together and recalled their horrifying experiences.
65 साल नेशनल डिस्कोर्स में एक ब्लैक आक्रमण को एक ट्राइबल इन्वेजन की संज्ञा दी गई। इसके बावजूद कि यूनाइटेड नेशंस के जो डिबेट्स चले जम्मू कश्मीर को लेके, उसमें पाकिस्तान ने कहीं पे इस बात को छुपाया नहीं कि उन्होंने हमला नहीं किया।
They said Pakistan, which is controlling large swaths of Kashmir illegally ever since, is still indulging in disinformation campaign.
हमारी स्टेट के ऊपर, हमारे जम्मू कश्मीर में, चाहे वो कश्मीर प्रोविंस का एरिया हो, चाहे हमारा जम्मू प्रदेश का एरिया हो, लगातार पाकिस्तान की तरफ से जम्मू कश्मीर के ऊपर हमले पे हमला, चाहे उसको सीज फायर वायलेशन कहें, चाहे इन्फिल्ट्रेशन कहें, चाहे हमारी रियासत के अंदर यहाँ के नौजवानों को गुमराह करके यहाँ पे किसी ना किसी तरीके से इस रियासत में अमन और चैन हमारे लोगों का छीने।
In 1947, the tribal militia with the strong backing of Pakistan had unleashed a reign of terror and unprovoked aggression in Kashmir in order to annex it. The Indian army had then stepped in to protect the innocents after the then ruler of Kashmir, Maharaja Hari Singh, signed an instrument of accession with India.
Students in Afghanistan can now explore what women do and can offer their society as Kabul University embarked on an unlikely course, the country's first master's degree in gender and women's studies. Many hope the program can empower women and promote equality in the otherwise conservative Afghanistan.
The program is the first of its kind in Afghanistan, where women are still regularly sidelined from political life and are subjected to violence in public and at home. The course has been funded in coordination with the United Nations Development Programme. The course includes information on women's legal rights and the role they can play in reducing poverty and resolving conflicts while contributing in the political process.
بخاطر که در شرایط افغانستان، در شرایط فعلی افغانستان، پروگرام جندر یک نیاز مبرم هست. بسیاری زنها اونا حقوق نمیفهمن، اون چیزی که حق که بر از اونا داده شده از او آگاهی ندارن و ما میتونیم توسط این پروگرام او حقی که اونا دارن بر از اونا برسانیم، کمک کنیم که شما هم میتونید در جامعه کار کنین، فعالیت کنین، درس بخونین، یعنی تنها منحصر به محیط خانه نیستین.
18 women and 10 men have enrolled in the first class of the 2-year master degree program.
I think it's a very good point in this program. It is teaching by the Afghan colleagues, Afghan professors. and with according with our reality, according with our society, it is very important.
Afghan women have been for long a suppressed lot in the male-dominant society. During the hardline Taliban regime, they were not even allowed to pursue educations or jobs. However, the trend has seen a change in the recent years, with the girls' schools and their enrollments increasing.
The Muttahida Qawmi Movement or MQM lawmakers will rejoin the Pakistan Parliament and Sindh Assembly, party officials have confirmed. The party said that it will return to the assemblies once the legislative session begins. The move comes weeks after the government formed a committee to look into complaints against law enforcement agencies. The MQM lawmakers had in August submitted mass resignation from the Pakistan Parliament and Sindh Assembly in protest against the alleged high-handedness of law enforcement agencies. The party has been for long complaining that the Pakistan paramilitary was involved in a crackdown on its workers in Karachi in the name of anti-militant operation. Moving on to news from India. A day after Hindus in India celebrated Durga Puja and Dasera, the devotees gave a grand send-off to goddess Durga on Friday. The celebrations concluded the observation of the Navratri festival or Festival of 9 Nights.
Devotees thronged temples since morning to have a last glimpse of goddess Durga, marking the end of the Durga Puja festival. Married women celebrated the day by observing the ritual of Sindoor Khela, where they smear vermilion on each other's face. The ritual is considered significant for the long lives of their husbands.
আজকে মাকে বিদায় দিতে খুব কষ্টই হচ্ছে, কিন্তু যেটা বাস্তব সেটা তো হয়ে এসেছে আজকে, কেন এটা তো হবে, সেটা তো দুঃখ করলেও তো মাকে বিদায় জানাতেই লাগবে। সারা জীবন তো আর মাকে, সারা বছর তো মাকে আগলে রাখা যাবে না।
The festival ended when devotees took the idols of goddess Durga for procession on the streets before immersing in river. It is believed that after the festival, the goddess sets off for her husband's abode. In southern India, the day was marked as Vidya Rambam, where it is considered as an auspicious ceremony in which children are introduced to the world of knowledge. They are also introduced to music, language and folk arts under the supervision of eminent literary and cultural personalities.
After giving last year's blockbuster Queen, Bollywood director Vikas Behel is back with fantasy-driven rom-com this weekend, and it is called Shandar.
Exquisite locales combined with magic realism gives Shandar a fairy tale touch. The latest from director Vikas Behel, Shandar, starring Shahid Kapoor and Alia Bhatt, is an out-and-out entertaining film filled with peppy songs and playful dance sequences.
तुमने कपड़े नहीं पहने?
तुम कपड़े पहन के आते हो?
कहाँ गई?
इधर
के?
तो मुझे अच्छा ये लगता है कि इवन दो हम लोगों ने रबिश किया, फिर भी it looks very, somehow it looks very entertaining and very fun and really nice. And I think that's one of the nicest things about me and Alia कि हम लोग कुछ भी उल्टा सीधा करते हैं तो somehow ठीक ठाक लग जाता है.
गुलजार के गीतों में जब यो यो हनी सिंह घुस गया तो रायता फैल गया, तो रायता फैल गया.
So I was damn nervous, because I'm dancing next to Shahid. He doesn't even, when he puts 10% energy, it looks like he's putting 100% energy. So I was very nervous.
The rom-com is about a destination wedding at a lavish English estate where a crowd of wacky characters assemble to give way to madness and mayhem. Shandar tells the story of two wealthy families who arrange a business deal under the garb of a marriage. Even as the preparations of the big fat wedding goes in full swing, a quirky romance mushrooms between the wedding planner and bride-to-be's sister. Interspersed with several comic sequences, the film is a visual treat for its breathtaking and exotic English countryside.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Lashkar Haqqani network won't be allowed to operate from Pakistan, says Sharif. Kabul University launches Afghanistan's first women's studies program. And Hindu devotees in India bids adieu to goddess Durga. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time next week. Have a great weekend and good night.